Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Svayam Rupa Kadamakyam Dadati Svapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuttapadakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavangscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatang Vitam Tang Sajivam Sadvaitam Sabadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakanvitangscha Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhaktivedanta Swamin iti namine. Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavani Paschatya Deshatarine Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Bhavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namo. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Rishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Nama Hare Nama Eva Kevalam Kalo Nastyeva Gatiranyata. So welcome back to Saturday Sanga, our usual gathering. Last week was a bit unusual gathering. Now we're back to usual gathering. And today we will sing Bhaktivinoda Thakura's song, and we will hear some, I think some devotees want to present their Vyasa Puja offerings. There was last week, there were so many who wanted to make offerings, but somehow the time slipped by, and our special guests were there and were speaking. So we'll have some such presentations. And then I thought, because last week, the Vyasa Puja, some of you made this very, very interesting, very nice performance of Sagara Mantana, the churning of the milk ocean. So I thought it's nice to visit this pastime again, this time looking at the Bhagavatam, how the Bhagavatam tells the story. So, Hare Krishna, let's start with some music. We are We are singing song number 3 of Bhakti Pratikula Bhava Varjanangikara of the Saranagati songs of Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakura. This song is called Visaya Bimudha our Mayavadi. Well, I think that's the first line of the song. All right, here we go. Visaya Bimudha our Mayavadi bhakti-śūnya duńhe prāna dhare akāran. Visaya Bimudha Mayavadi bhakti-śūnya duńhe prāna dhare akāran. Dui-sańga nāhoy āmār prārthanā koriye charane tomār. Dui-sańga nātha nāhoy āmār prārthanā koriye charane tomār. Se duer madye ishayita-bhubala Mayavādī-sańga nahi magi-kono kala. Se duer madye vishayidar. Se duer madye vishayita-bhubala Mayavādī-sańga nahi magi-kono kala. Ayī-hr jabe sadhu-sańga pai anayasi labhe bhakti kripa. Visaya jabe sanga pai anayasi labhe bhakti kripa. Mayavadi dosha jaro hridaye pashilo kutarke hridaye tara braja samabhelo. Mayavada dosha jaro hridaye pashilo kutarke hridaye tara braja samabhelo. Bhakti Sarupa ar Visaya ashray Mayavadi anitya boliya sabakoy. Bhakti Sarupa ar Visaya ashray Mayavadi anitya boli sabakoy. Dik Tara Krishna seva Shravana kirtan. Krishna ange vajrahane tahastavan. Dik Tara Krishna seva Shravan kirtan. Krishna ange vajrahane taharastavan. Mayavada samabhakti pratikula nai ataeva māyāvādī-sańga nahi chai. Mayavadi samabhakti pratikula nai Ataiva Mayavādī-sańga nahi chai. Bhaktivinoda Mayavada dura koriye. Vaishnava Sangete Vaise Namasraya Dori. Bhaktivinoda Mayavada dura koriye. Vaishnava Sangete Vaise Namasraya Dori. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Haribo, 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 Gaur Haribo, Nitai Gaur Haribo, 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 Gaur Haribo. Both the monist philosophers and those bewildered by worldly affairs live in vain, for both are devoid of devotion to you. Visaya-vimūdha are Mayavadi, bhakti-śūnya, duńhe, prāna, dhare, akāran. So the Visaya-vimūdha, the foolish materialistic person, and Mayavadi John. Well, John can go with both, but of course Mayavadi means Mayavadi. one who adheres to or promotes the vada of Maya, that everything is Maya. Bhakti-śūnya duńhe, prāna, dhare, akāran. Devoid of bhakti, both of them, prāna, dhare, akāran, their lives are useless. They live in vain. Second verse, I pray to your lotus feet, O Lord, that I may be spared the company of them both. E dui-sańga nahoy āmār, prārthanā koriye, charan tomar. So making a prayer, prārthanā koriye, O nātha, O Lord, dui-sańga, these two kinds of associations, na hoy āmār, they are not, let them not be of me. Ami chorane tomar, I am at the shelter of your lotus feet. Se duer madye Visaya tabu bhalo. Yet of the two, the worldly man is better. Se duer madye, madye is in the middle. So between these two, Visaya tabu bhalo. Bhalo means good. Of these two, the Visaya, the sense enjoyer, is better. Mayavādī-sańga nahi magi kono kalo. I don't wish, I don't pray for at any time, nahi kono magi kala Mayavādī-sańga. I don't want Mayavad association at any time. Visaya hridoy jabe sadhu-sańga pai anayasi labe bhakti-bhaktir kripai. When the worldly man enters into the company of saintly persons, within his heart he becomes inspired by pure devotion through the mercy of those devotees. Visaya hridoy, in the heart of the sense enjoyer. Jabe, I think when, sadhu-sańga pai, when he receives. Anayase labhe, entering into his heart. Bhakti, bhaktir kripai. Bhakti enters by the grace, kripai, bhaktera, of the bhaktas, of the devotees. But woe to him who has known the offensive presence of impersonalist philosophy. Such sophistry makes the heart hard as a thunderbolt. Mayavad dosha jaro hridoye poshilo. So the dosha, the fault of Mayavada, jara, in whose heart, jara hridoye pashilo, has entered, has gone, or touches. Kutarke hridoye tara vajra sam belo. Kutarka means, here it's translated as sophistry, which means argumentation, false argumentation. Kutarka means reasoning. Kutarka means bad reasoning. Hridoya tar vajrasam, like a thunderbolt, but it can also mean vajra, also means diamond, something extremely hard. Kutarke hridoy tar vajrasama belo. Such sophistry makes the heart hard as a thunderbolt. The Mayavad philosopher declares that the true form of bhakti, its object, Sri Krishna, and its possessor, the devotee, are all transitory and thus illusory. Bhaktir Swarup, the true form of bhakti, aro Visaya ashray. Visaya means the object, refers to Krishna. Ashraya is we can say the subject, the shelter, the person who takes the shelter of the Lord. So that's the devotee. Mayavad anitya bolya, having said anitya, that the Visaya and the Ashraya are anitya, are temporary. Mayavadi, Shab Koi, he says all of that. Phi on his pretense of service to Krishna. Phi is the translation here of the word dhik, which is something like curses. Diktaro Krishna seva shravana kirtana. Phi on his pretense of service to Krishna, of hearing and chanting his glories. His so-called prayers strike the body of Krishna with blows more cruel than a thunderbolt. Krishna ange vajra hane tahar stavan. Krishna ange, on Krishna's limbs, vajra, again thunderbolt, hane, beating, tahar stavan. I don't know what is stavan. Mayavad sham bhakti pratikul nai, ateva Mayavadi-sańga nahi chai. There is no philosophy as antagonistic to devotional service as Mayavad philosophy. Bhakti pratikul, that which is against bhakti. Mayavad sama, equal to sama nai, there is none equal to Mayavada as a bhakti pratikul. Ataeva, therefore, Mayavad-sańga nahi chai. I don't want Mayavad association. And finally, Bhaktivinoda, Mayavad dur kori, Vaishnava sangete boise namashrai dhori. Bhaktivinoda drives away the philosophy of illusionism, dur kori, doing away with it, and sits safely, boise, Vaishnav Sangete, in the society of Vaishnavas, under the shelter of the holy name, Namashrai Dhore.
En la sociedad de los Vaishnavas bajo el refugio.
So, Bhaktivinoda Thakur is speaking quite strongly against Mayavada with an interesting comparison by saying, I would rather have association with a Visayi than with a Mayavadi. And he explains why. He says the Visayi, by the grace of the Vaishnavas, can become purified and become a devotee, whereas a Mayavadi has such a hard heart that it's not only not possible for the Mayavadi to soften, but also this can be dangerous to the devotee to have such association. So this is anukul, not anukul, this is the opposite. This is pratikul. Bhakti pratikul bha Varjanangikara, the accepting of the rejection. Angikar means acceptance, or literally making as part of oneself, which is interesting, suggesting that it's not so much about a mental practice or something superficial, but it's about making it one's very own self. Angikar, imbibing Varjana, the rejection of the Bhava, the spirit of that which is pratikul, which is against bhakti. This is song number 3 of this series. And I don't know, I think there must be at least one more song to this, and then it possibly comes to the next section, which is kind of taking the next step. Having done Saranagati, then what? One may ask, and then Bhaktivinoda Thakur has several songs for that, describing that process. Okay, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur ki jai. So, welcome again to everyone on this fine day of the new year. I should say Happy New Year to everyone, according to the Western calendar. Just reading a question there. Okay, so then I'm tempted to ask if anyone wants to share a New Year's resolution that you have made for yourself. Do you have this practice in Asian countries? Making New Year's resolutions? Nobody's volunteering.
Hare Krishna Maharaj, they are a bit fanciful about resolutions, but I really don't know how much they work on it. Well, for me, I haven't thought about it at all.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, it's one thing to make a resolution, and it's another thing to keep it. If one doesn't keep it, then what happens is one forgets. So if I would ask you, what was your New Year's resolution for this last year? Probably most of us would say, I don't remember. Right? Anyway, the years are going by, and whether or not we make any kind of resolutions, Prabhupada said about GBC resolutions. Resolutions, something, no solutions. Whether or not we make resolutions, we want to find solutions. Especially a permanent solution to material existence. What could that possibly be? How about service to Lord Krishna? Pure devotional service. Pure devotional service, anyone? Any takers? Okay, so I think we have some Vyasa Puja meditations. Is that right? Dear Lalita, I understand you are in charge here.
Hare Krishna, dear Guru Maharaj. Well, we have a list that we have sent to Dharma Gupta Prabhu. I could read a list of devotees, who's first, who's second, and I hope they're all here. So shall I read the whole list out loud?
Okay, yeah.
Well, the first one is Bhakti Usha Ji from London, and then Ananda Mayi, and then Divyambara, and then Bhakti Alex, and then Madhavi Kishori and family, and then Ramananda Gopal Prabhu, and Pandava Prabhu and Bhagavati.
Okay.
So
sounds good.
I hope that Usha ji is here, so she can unmute herself.
Yes, she's here.
Yes, I'm here. Dear Guru Maharaj, please accept my heartfelt obeisances as my spiritual master, who is the fountain of divine wisdom, of transcendental knowledge, and also an ocean of compassion. All glories to Srila Prabhupada ji. Maharaji, with Krishna's and your endless mercy upon me, I remain eternally grateful to you for accepting my prayer in allowing me to become part of this blissful family, the best gift that Krishna could have ever bestowed upon me. Maharaj, I seek shelter at your lotus feet as your eternal servant. I know this is the only path by which my deep commitment, my wholehearted endeavor can help me to succeed, for pure devotional service that I can provide unto Krishna as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Gurudev, I bow to you in awe with the greatest reverence and deep affection for you, my most esteemed Guru Maharaj. It is indeed by your grace alone that I can aspire to qualify for Krishna's mercy to cross the path so ridden with many material obstacles. Maharaji, I have lived and worked in Krishna conscious environment for some years now, with enormous blessing upon me to be in the company of and association of very many pure devotees. Now, despite my well-meaning intentions to immerse myself in Krishna consciousness, I seem to have got stuck in the mud. Maharaji, here I am. I come to you having felt devoid of courage for so long. My longing has never been really deep enough to touch the hollowness of this empty well, and my effort never good enough to question in all honesty as to why I should continue to perpetuate the suffering despite being conscious of the depth of my ignorance, as witnessed each day through my attachments, the many hours of overemployment, albeit in noble endeavors, noble purposes, the many distractions and the futile, fruitless material demands upon me, the obsessions that cause and continue to cause confusion and chaos and tie me up in knots each day. My most worshipful grace, Guru Maharaj, since seeking your shelter, your merciful compassion and deep inspiration is giving me strength, is giving me energy, and encourages me to engage wholeheartedly in deep and loving devotional service. I seek your mercy, Maharaj, so that I may remain firm in my resolve to broaden my shallow understanding of the hollowness of my illusions, and I may begin to find ways to make progress, to move the unmovable, and really what seems like an insurmountable mountain of darkness. Guru Maharaj, I pray that by serving you with my heart and my soul, by following your guidance and instructions, I may succeed in overcoming the material desires, the urges, the aversions that are all within me, I realize, and aspire for a deep change within me. It is through my devotion and humble service to you as my spiritual master, and by your grace alone, that I can make advancement in my spiritual being, so that I may be able to see things as they are and treat them as deserved. Maharaji, I'm very conscious that this is only possible by growing my practice, by growing my knowledge and my understanding, by following your instructions, which are based on Srila Prabhupada's writings and his many, many books and shastras. I therefore seek your blessings, Maharaj, that I may also one day be able to draw on my meager innate resources to achieve the transformation in my consciousness to that very high bar that Srila Prabhupada has set for us all as his devotees. With that as my prayer, Guru Maharaj, please accept my most respectful obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada.
Thank you. Very nice. Yes, Srila Prabhupada has set a very high bar for all of us so that we can actually get to the goal. Okay, thank you.
The next is an Anandamayi.
Hare Krishna, Guru Maharaj, Hare Krishna, everyone. Oma Gyana Timirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Guru Namaha. I offer my respectful obeisances unto my spiritual master who has opened my eyes which were blinded by the darkness of ignorance with the torchlight of knowledge. In my offering to you, my dear Guru, not much change in a practical way. I can present before you my little attempt of the service I some time ago dedicated to you and Krishna, namely my writing a book about self-realization, which goes slowly but forward, step by step. I am building up through research a picture of it, which is, I think, already somewhere in the sky, Akashic records. This service helps me broaden my spiritual vision, and hopefully it can help others. At present, I am researching our good friend Bhagavad Gita. I also came back to study Sanskrit, which I started many years ago, and which I have already forgotten. Now I am enjoying every lesson. This year was strange and hard, but at the same time surprising with certain realizations. I could understand my wondrous connection with Srila Prabhupada even more deeply than before, manifested as a confirmation. His recent piercing omnipresence in my life and your excellent guidance lifted my perception of seeing myself, my capacity, and completely changed everything. So now I can continue the mission, the second part, with a new, fresh perspective, the wind of change, which is, I think, right for everyone and significant. This year was also remarkable because of your most valuable association in many ways, including online meetings. Primary, however, by dint of your presence in my life. It becomes most precious to know you better and better outside although inside. Each door which you gradually opened before me led me to the most intricate, exciting, and astounding levels of my consciousness. The consciousness which revealed from me your extraordinary nature in this oneness. Now I cannot imagine anything else. That is the stability I wish to penetrate. Therefore, I want to thank you for this special time I could never expect. And I hope to develop it more and more, extend my internal world, open my eyes, and enter this depth of spiritual reality, which is for me. My offering to you is factually an offering of me to you, of my service, my time, my abilities, myself. In the end, I must emphasize that I fully appreciate all your support, each detail of your care. So thank you for everything. You are the best teacher for me, the best guider, the best example, the best spiritual master, and just the best. I am honored by your transcendental supervision, and this is the most valuable treasure I have. On this occasion of your Vyasa Puja, I wish you good health, even more success, and the most magnificent spiritual life. Hare Krishna. Please accept my obeisances.
Jai, thank you. Most magnificent spiritual life. Sounds good.
Thank you.
So next one is Divyambara from New York.
Jai Guru Maharaj, Hare Krishna. I bow down to your lotus feet. And Hare Krishna, dear God brothers and God sisters. I'm trying to share my screen. Is that working? Oh, there you go. So Guru Maharaj, this year I made my offering in the form of a PowerPoint presentation. And it's an attempt to share what I've been through this past year, and also a very meager attempt to glorify you. So please accept. I am not very expert at doing this, so there you go. Mukhaṁ karoti vācālam pangung langayate girim yat kripātamaham vande Shri Gurun Dīnataranam. By the mercy of the Guru, even a dumb person can become the greatest orator, and even a lame person can cross mountains. This verse has been, how to say, like a guiding star in my entire spiritual life. So I don't know if you remember, Guru Maharaj, in 1994, you visited Sofia, Bulgaria, where I was serving. And you visited for the first time after, I don't know, maybe 10 years or more. Before that, you visited Bulgaria under the Iron Curtain, so you were kind of incognito. And unfortunately, I couldn't find a lot of pictures from that time. We didn't have cell phones back then. But this is one picture. You can see the Trabant in the back. This is one of the most popular cars in Bulgaria at the time, along with the Russian Lada. It was a very austere place to live in, but nevertheless, you came and visited us. Very kind of you. You came directly from India. And I remember your flight was delayed by 6 or 8 hours. And yeah, you told us that you survived an orange juice this whole time. So the funny thing is that when you arrived, I was trying to make some very healthy food for you, which I really had no idea how to do. But I made you, with the first meal, I served you freshly squeezed orange juice. because that was actually a luxury at that time in Bulgaria. So I was your personal cook, and for the first time I served you breakfast. I made very healthy, so-called healthy, whole wheat biscuits, and they were really hard, like rocks. So I made this biscuit for you, and I put a slice of butter on top. And then the plate came back, and the biscuit was in the plate, and the butter was gone. And the devotee who cleared your plate said that the biscuit was so hard that you took it and you did like this, and you can hear this rock-like sound. That was so embarrassing to me. I was really trying to cook healthy for you. At the time, I was the temple cook, and I thought I was doing pretty good. I was pretty good at it. But when I cooked during the 5 days of your visit, Krishna completely crushed my pride, and everything I prepared was basically a disaster. And Guru Maharaj, please forgive me. I still apologize for putting you and your digestion through a lot of austerity at that time. At the end of your last meal, before you left, you called me to your room, and I would never forget that. It was some of the biggest lessons in cooking you've given me. So the first thing you asked me was, are you using recipes? And you suggested that I do so, that it would be a good idea. And then you offered me a couple of precious cooking tips that I still follow today. One of them was, like you said, okay, because I would serve you 2 vegetable dishes, 2 sabjis. And I remember I had, was it carrots or potatoes or something? I had the same vegetable in the 2 sabjis, and you suggested that don't repeat vegetables. If you're making multiple vegetable preparations, don't use the same vegetables. So I've never done this since then. You also taught me how to check if the rice is ready. And you did it in such a compassionate way, because I was so nervous and I was shaking, and I was already so distraught by all the failures I've had cooking for you. And the way you taught me how to check if the rice is ready. So you said you take a grain of rice and you squeeze it between your fingers, and if there is a little bit of hardness, like a little grain of sand, then the rice probably needs 3 more minutes to cook. And then you said, this rice is like that. So, and then you instructed me to spend more time learning how to cook. And also you suggested that I will improve my English, because somehow you envisioned that one day I may become a Bulgarian translator for Srila Prabhupada's books. And a year later, I was accepted as a Bulgarian translator of the Srimad Bhagavatam. And this is a service I did for you for the next 5 years at the BBT in Sweden. And this is Shishi Gandharvika Giridhari, very, very beautiful deities. And by the grace, this is how I realized, by your grace, a dumb person can truly begin to speak and write in any language. And I did not speak a word of English when I first joined the devotees. And then over the next few years, you continue to remind me to learn more cooking. While I served in Mayapur and Vrindavan, when I prepared to get married, when I was sick, you would always encourage me, and you would say, oh, how about learning some more cooking? That was the period of all kinds of difficulties, but cooking was a very positive learning engagement for me. And by your grace, I was able to cross a mountain of difficulties that helped me evolve as a human being and as your servant. During my struggles with chronic health issues, I studied Ayurveda with Vaidya Ramakant Mishra. He passed away a few years ago. He taught me many things, among them the principles of sattvic Ayurvedic cooking. And around that time, I also realized that taking care of my health is my responsibility. And one thing also, Guru Maharaj, you always, when you hear that any of us are not doing well or we're sick or something, you always encourage us to make our health our priority. And I kind of neglected this at the beginning, but then I realized how important it is. And it is our responsibility to take care of our health in service to you. Fast forward, my husband Purusha Sukta Prabhu and I live in New York City in the shelter of Shishi Radha Mulidhara and Shri Gaurachandra at the Bhakti Center in Manhattan. And our occupational project, so this is what we've been busy with the past year, is we're in the prasadam service business. So this is our restaurant, Divya's Kitchen, and you can see the front, and then we haven't been able to serve indoors for a while. So we had to build a structure for outdoor dining. This is the picture on the right, and this is where people come to eat in the middle of the cold season. But this is out in the parking lot. And this is the indoor dining, which currently is suspended, but we'll see what happens. We're still there to serve. And it's been a really very intense experience running a restaurant, but also a very rewarding experience in many different ways. And this is your favorite dish on our menu, the Asian stir fry. So I offer that to you again. And during the pandemic, we in our efforts to sustain our business and our service, we created some retail products. So these are khichdi in a packet. You just put it in hot water and it's ready in 15 minutes. It has all the spices and everything. So when our restaurant was closed for 2 months in March and April, I designed these recipes, and then we have a whole team of people who worked on creating a product, which was a whole learning experience for me. There's so many little details. But yes, this has been very well received so far. And I would consider this our main project, because I really, I love teaching and sharing with others what I've learned. So Bhagavad Life is our nonprofit educational school. And it started with us organizing japa retreats all over the United States, but actually in other parts of the world. I don't know if you remember, we had a japa retreat in Hong Kong that you participated in a few years ago. And now all of our programs are online, and we focus on basically cooking classes, like cooking education, because I find why I'm inspired to do that is by helping people learn how to prepare sattvic vegetarian food at home. They just really very quickly elevate their consciousness to become more spiritual. And I've seen this over the years. It really works. So currently we have our Ayurvedic nutrition and culinary certification program. This is like an Ayurvedic chef program, which we're running for the 5th year. And this year, the first level is all online. And we recently got certified and accredited by the National Ayurvedic Medical Association, which is a great honor. I have one cookbook, which is already in its 8th edition. We've had 3 editions this year. And the second cookbook, I'm working on it every day. And Guru Maharaj, I'm still trying to figure out what you're trying to tell me with this facial expression. But thank you so much for receiving a copy of my book. And the book also came out in German earlier this year. So the more important projects that I'm working on, they're lifetime projects and it's all work in progress, is over following the example of transforming judgmental mentality into compassionate understanding, desire for fame, name and fame, into passing it all on to Guru and Krishna, self-centered lack of confidence into a selfless confidence to serve as asked, demeaning others into dignifying others, anger into letting go with ease, and lust into pure love. And this may sound very ambitious, but I believe that they are all possible, because by your grace and Krishna's mercy, everything is possible. And I pray to remain in the shelter of your lotus feet. And this is I always appreciate your encouragement, Guru Maharaj, because you always, somehow you're always there for us to let us know that, yes, everything is possible by the mercy of Krishna. Thank you, Guru Maharaj, for loving us unconditionally and for not giving up on us, for helping us experience Sri Krishna's presence in our lives, for uniting us as one spiritual family, for encouraging and guiding us to live and serve to our full potential, for believing in each one of us and helping us believe in ourselves, for being personally concerned and present for each one of us when we face life's difficulties, for shaping and transforming our hearts, from rock hard to spongy soft. And now I offer you my improved biscuit, which is now spongy soft, and we have it in the menu at Divya's Kitchen as well. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Devyambara. Very nice. A practical question. Oh, first a comment. I'm sorry, I don't know what exactly was my message by my facial expression at the time. Maybe I was saying something like, what, only one book? Sorry. So you're working on a second one. This Divya's Kitchen, now this means you're moving out of number 25 First Avenue, First Street?
First Avenue, yeah, no, we're still there. We just, indoor dining is not allowed in all over New York City. So we can only serve out on the street. So we have these heat lamps. We're trying to keep people warm while they dine.
Because, okay. So anyway, so it's not a different address. It's the same address.
Yeah, but we're serving out in the parking lot.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you.
Hare Guru Maharaj. Next devotee to present the Vesper offering is Bhakti Alex. I don't know if she's with us.
Bhakti Alex. Hello, Bhakti Alex.
Maybe we could go to the next, and then if Bhakti Alex comes around, maybe she could do it after.
Yeah.
So then we have Madhavi Kishori and the family from Simhachalam.
Yeah. Hare Krishna Guru Maharaj.
Hare Krishna.
Accept our humble obeisances. All glories to you. We have prepared something a little more interactive for you. We wanted to do it on the Vyasa Puja day itself as a little part of entertainment, but Daddy, come. Now we're doing it today, and Priya Radha was the one to inspire us to do something, because as we are now parents, it's very important for us to always keep her engaged in Krishna service. So we took the second canto of the Srimad Bhagavatam, and we looked what could be inside, which she would also like. And she liked the story of Varahadi very much, was very briefly told inside. So we would like to offer something interactive for you to look, and we hope you would enjoy it. There was once the time when the universe was harassed by the gold-exploiting demon, Hiranyaksha. He was the first demon and couldn't get enough riches to hold in his demoniac clutches. Due to the harassment by the Daitya, Hiranyaksha, the earth fell into the lower part of the sphere, called the Garbhodaka ocean. Ha 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 ha! Yes, yes, the earth is mine. So much gold and other things to exploit for me, only for me. I shall keep the earth here in the Garbhodaka ocean, where I can keep her imprisoned and far away from all the other planets, and for me to control. So now I'm exhausted. And while you are stuck here in the ocean and cannot escape, I shall go for a short nap. There is no one here to stop me and save you.
Save me, Vishnu!
When the Lord heard the cry of Bhumi Devi, he by his glance, in order to save Bhumi Devi, accepted the form of a mighty giant boar. Hey, you! She's mine! How dare you, boar, interfere in my plans and lift this planet out of the ocean? I have never seen you before. Aha! I think you're not from around here, eh? And so you're not aware of who I am. I am Adi-Daitya Hiranyaksha, and you are lucky, you know, because I am very merciful. I give everyone the opportunity to serve me in his best way capable, just as the earth has been doing down here. Hey, buddy, you look quite strong. Here's the deal. We could be friends. I will forgive your offense and let you go if you place the earth back into the ocean at once.
You are a fool, Hiranyaksha. You have gained a lot of strength due to your previous actions, but you don't know how to use them in the right way. You think you are very strong, huh? And you can get away with your misdeeds? Actually, I'm very pleased because I have had an urge to do some wrestling for a long time. And finally, I have an excuse to do so. So be aware.
Did you hear? A boar wants to wrestle. First, you have to get past my mighty weapons, and then we shall see. Ha! Oh no! I have another one.
It's okay.
Oh no, I'm losing this one too. Okay, I'm very you're too strong. Okay, let's wrestle. So the Lord by his glance defeated the demoniac monster Hiranyaksha. Jai Mayavadi!
Jai!
So that was a small little offering. Sorry, it was not as professional, but we tried to make something nice. And Radha, she insisted after she saw us last times, always we practiced the theater for you, for the Vyasa Puja. So she said, I also want to do something for Prabhupada. And she always calls you Prabhupada Maharaj. So she was very happy that she could participate. And yes.
Thank you. And thanks to Priya Radha. Where is she?
She's here. She's too shy to look into the camera. Come here. Say Hare Krishna to Maharaj. Say Hare Krishna to Maharaj.
Oh, there she is. Okay.
She was hiding behind and...
Hi, Kumati.
Haribol. Okay, thank you. Very nice, very nice. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. We are calling now for Bhakti and Alex again, if she's there. Bhakti and Alex.
I can't see her on the list of participants, so...
You can't see her. Okay, so the next devotee is Ramananda Gopal Prabhu, and then Pandava Prabhu and Bhagavati. So Ramananda Gopal Prabhu.
Yes, Hare Krishna, we are here. Come a little bit closer because, yeah. Yeah, Hare Krishna, dear devotees, dear God family, and of course, dear Gurudev. Since the last Sanga was full of theater preparation and the acting, yeah, it was. I missed out a little bit to write a proper offering to you, and I just scribbled something what gave me a little bit a note. I read this to you. Okay, still Joe wanna play with us as well. Okay, super. Dear Gurudev, please accept my humble obeisances, all glories to you and your valuable service to your glorious Guru Maharaj, A.C. Bhaktivinoda Swami Srila Prabhupada, and the whole Vaishnava community. It is so suitable that your appearance day is just on the appearance of Srimad Bhagavad Gita. For me, you are the Bhagavad Gita became alive. Sometimes I'm troubled with anxiety, fear, and or even confusion. I open the Gita with a question in my heart, and Bhagavad Gita gives me always an answer, soothing my mind and giving peace to my worried heart. The Bhagavad Gita is the book of knowledge of the divine, and it is its application in this material world. Since I got that book and read it, I linked in the transcendental VLAN network of Srila Prabhupada, who connected me to the transcendental connection to the Supreme Person. So Bhagavad Gita became like an application in my life, what I downloaded by reading it. The app came with a suitable password. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. With that connection, I surfed around in the eternal net, not knowing how to apply the app. So I needed a webmaster who gave me instructions how to really work with it. I prayed to the owner of the net for a webmaster who can teach me how to use this network, to keep the connection clean by active service to the net and its owner, Sri Krishna Bhagavan. Looking around, I found different webmasters and tried out here and there, basically relying on the experiences of others, of other users. Finally, I made the best choice of my life beside of my wife. Of course, I got my own personal guru, someone who hears my prayers, someone who cares. Thank you very much, Gurudev. Yeah, so this was something what came in my mind while I missed out the drama of Priya Radha, but I will look at it later, or maybe I get even a live performance. Thank you, Gurudev, for you really calmed us all the time when we had some difficulties. Living in a community in this day and age is sometimes challenging, as maybe everybody who does so have also this experiences. On the other hand, this is the only remedy against these impersonal tendencies what we have in our modern age by social distancing. So we have here in a community we have always social embracements of challenges, of problems, but also of care and guidance and of deep friendship. And therefore, we are always grateful that you always encourage us to keep on going, give us options, how also can look at the other hand on things, and in this way keep our mind open and help us to really become better persons. Yeah, thank you very much, Gurudev. That's there's so much more to say, but I think there's only keep it free for others also to read the offerings. And yeah,
Char wants to show you his
Char want to show his new toy, what he got, some kind of a cannon. So offerings on different ways. You can shoot with it.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah, it's so much more in my mind to say and to bring back to you. Oh, one thing I wanna mention is that I not only got a Gurudev, I got a whole load of spiritual family, and I'm very, very grateful of all this coronavirus, because of the coronavirus I got to know my God family much more better and personally, and saying that experience of having an online Zoom theater was astonishing, and it was so much fun and so much how to say, some new experience. And I have a suggestion to all of you for the coming sanghas, when we have maybe when we got over the Vyasa Puja offerings, what is a very nice and personal service to do. Maybe we could also start in due course of time to have in each sangha maybe 1 or 2 devotees who how to say, make a little bit introduction of themselves, to get them even to know more. I personally, I don't know much about the whole South American yatra, who's going on there and something like that. Maybe then we can get to know each other in a more personal way. And as we never before this Zoom sanghas were going on could even imagine, to meet them and to reconnect with them. Maybe some little suggestion for this. All glories to His Holiness Krishna Kshetra Swami for the very best guidance what we can think of, and for the very best God family I can think of too. Hare Krishna.
Hari Hari. Thank you, Ramananda Gopal, and family. Gopi Gita is there. Charu's toys are there.
Yes. Murari is asleep.
Yeah. So your suggestion is very nice, and maybe that's something that Dharmagupta could organize.
Yes, he's the best.
He's a real organizer. Let's see if he agrees.
Yeah.
Okay. Hare Krishna. And then we had.
And then we have Pandava Prabhu and Bhagavati from Leicester.
Mm-hmm. Are they here?
Hare Krishna, please accept my humble obeisance, Maharaj. So,
Hare Krishna.
on this occasion of your Vyasa Puja, I would like to, first of all, wish you all the best on your spiritual path. Also, it is in connection to the new year, so I would like to wish you that Krishna will always bless you and help you with all of your projects. And also, I would like to thank you sorry, very much for your understanding and patience and mercy you have shown me for all of these many years. Especially, I appreciate your help and after 1998 and in recent years. So that's it. We will soon try to show some small play according to the idea of Pandava Prabhu. So I don't want to make it too long. So Hamdi, thank you very much for everything, and Krishna bless you with all of his mercy. Hare
Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Guru Maharaj, please accept my humble obeisances.
Jai.
Swami Krishna Kshetra Swami. Guru Maharaj, I'm very happy to have you as my spiritual master. I didn't think it's gonna be a little bit emotional, but it took me a while to decide to take the guru, and I'm convinced that definitely Krishna helped me in those days, because there were so many spiritual masters, and over the years I have had so much of your assistance, help, and option to serve you. So I'm really grateful for everything you allow me to do, and tolerate my shortcomings. We will present now a small play, which is surprisingly for us connected to the main play that was on the Vyasa Puja day, because it's also with the churning of the ocean. So I will set the computer for the scene. So the title is Power of Mahaprasad.
Narada Muni bajaye bina radhika ramana name. Narada Muni bajaye bina radhika ramana name. Narada Muni bajaye bina.
Narada Muni, in great ecstasy, comes to Kailash.
You look so extraordinary today. Tell me why you are so effulgent today.
After serving Mother Lakshmi, I received from her Mahaprasadam of Lord Narayan, and now I feel rejuvenated. My spiritual potency increased 100 times.
Narada, after getting Lord's Mahaprasad, which is so rare, you ate it all without giving me any? You came here but didn't bring any of Mahaprasad, which is such a rare treasure.
Narada, feeling ashamed, put his head down. I'm so sorry, my brother. I have got only a little grain of rice left. Here it is.
Give it to me, give it to me.
Lord Shiva took it from Narada and started to dance. The earth was rocking back and forth due to his ecstatic dance. Alarmed, Parvati came there and broke Lord Shiva's trance.
Why did you interrupt?
Dear husband, stop your madness. It is not the time for destroying the universe. After regaining external consciousness, Lord Shiva said,
Why did you interrupt my ecstasy. By doing so, you have practically killed me. I've never tasted such a bliss before in my life. Why did you stop me?
My lord, just see what is happening. Your dance is pushing the earth down to Patala region. I had to use such strong words because you are threatening to destroy the universe. Please forgive me. Lord Shiva pardoned Parvati and smiled. Prabhu, every day you dance in ecstasy of Krishna Prema. Why today you are dancing so madly? Your effulgence is as brilliant as 10 million stars. I've never seen you exhibiting such a magnificent form. Why are you displaying such rapture in Krishna Prema today?
Oh Devi, today my brother Narada gave some of Lord Narayan's Mahaprasadam. Lord's Mahaprasadam is very rare in all three worlds. It's very difficult to obtain it because Mahaprasadam has nectar of Krishna's lips. Today my life is successful by mercy of Narada. I received Mahaprasadam. And that's the source of my ecstasy.
After getting that rarely attainable Mahaprasadam, you ate it all yourself? You didn't give me even a speck of it? For all of this time, I thought that you are kind and merciful to me. As husband and wife, we are one. But today, your false love is revealed. It's all just pretension. You cheated me.
Oh Bhavani, you have no rights to receive this transcendental wealth.
Why? One of my names is Vaishnavi, and I also have devotion for Lord Vishnu. Now in this assembly, I make a solemn vow. If Lord Narayan bestows this compassion upon me, I will make sure that Lord's Mahaprasadam is distributed to everyone in the universe, even to the dogs and jackals. Now Lord Vishnu appears. Mother Parvati offered her respects and with tears in her eyes lets out her problem. My dear Lord, you are aware of everything. I'm your devotee. Why am I rejected to receive your Maha? Please grant my desire so all my children will have mercy of your Mahaprasadam, even the lowest ones. You know my vow. Be merciful to me and grant me this boon.
Oh Katyayani, you are my Adya Shakti. Through you, I manifest the entire material creation. I know you have devotion for me. You always engage in my service. Without you, this material creation could not exist. Whole world worships you and your husband as Hara and Gauri. Be assured, I will keep your promise. I will personally distribute my Mahaprasad to everyone in the universe. Listen, O Katyayani Devi. Now, I will tell you the inner secret about an ancient episode when devas and demons were churning the ocean of nectar. The first object that appeared was Kalpataru, a desire tree. Within that tree was a transcendental effulgence emanating from the beautiful form of Lord Chaitanya, who is the supreme embodiment of pure mercy. He is the fountainhead of all incarnations. In the age of Kali, I will manifest the golden form of Sri Gauranga Mahaprabhu to propagate Sankirtan movement. Taking the form of golden avatar, I will fulfill your vow of Parvati and give love of Krishna to everyone. In form of Gauranga, I will deliver all people in Kali Yuga.
Lord Shiva and Mother Parvati started chanting started chanting
Hari,
Hari,
Hari.
Hari. After the ecstatic dance and kirtan, Narada Muni had left.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Jaya Gauranitai, 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 Jaya Gauranitai.
Jaya Gauranitai, 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 Jaya Gauranitai.
Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Prabhupada.
Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Prabhupada.
Jaya Krishna Kshetra Swami, Krishna Kshetra Swami, Krishna Kshetra Swami, Jaya Krishna.
Jaya Krishna Kshetra Swami, Krishna Kshetra Swami, Krishna Kshetra Swami, Jaya Krishna Kshetra Swami.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you, very nice. We're getting lots of theater today. Okay, so yeah, I'm speechless. Tira Lalita, do we have anyone more today?
No, very much, not for today.
Okay.
I think we divided the list to 6 per Sangha.
Oh,
So,
I see.
so we can hear also some of your class as well.
All right, we'll speak something briefly. Yeah, I wanted to speak from Bhagavatam and from the chapter 5 of Canto 8, Srimad Bhagavatam. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam. Deving Saraswating Vyasam Tato Jayamudiraye. Nashta Prayesha Bhavadreshu. Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki. There's a couple of, we may say, coincidences coming together. Last week, we saw this quite amazing performance, premiere of Zoom churning of the ocean by the demigods and the demons. And starting next Monday for 5 days, I'm going to be giving classes for the Mayapur Institute of Higher Education on Srimad Bhagavatam chapters 5, Canto 8, chapters 5 through 10. This is part of their Bhakti-Vedanta course. There's Bhakti-shastri, Bhakti-vaibhava, Bhakti-Vedanta, and I believe they have around 20 students. So I've been asked to facilitate, and so in preparation for that, I've been reading the chapters, and now to speak something about them helps me further to prepare. We may be aware that the Bhagavatam cantos 4 through 9 really are giving account of a day in the life of Lord Brahma. And within Lord Brahma's day, so many manus are appearing. I believe it's 14 in number altogether. And here it's making reference to the 6th Manu, whose name is Chakshusha. And he had a son who was also a Manu, whose name was Chakshu. And then it's giving some dynastic information, names of so many descendants, which I won't go into here. But it's mentioned in this list that a certain husband and wife, Vairaja was the wife, the husband was the wife of Vairaja was Deva-sambhuti, and she gave birth. It doesn't say Vairaja and Deva. Anyway, Deva-sambhuti gave birth to Ajita. Ajita, of course, is a name of the Lord, one who is unconquered. And it turns out this is a name of the tortoise avatar. And that, of course, is the form of the Lord who provides the pivot on which Mount Mandara will be placed for the churning pastime. So as soon as Shukadev Goswami mentions this, Maharaj Parikshit's interest perks up. Perhaps he was a little bit dozing off with all the names that were given. Now he is eager to hear about the churning of the ocean. And so now Shukadeva Goswami begins that discussion. So we saw this last week, and we all know the story. We know that there were the devas and there were the asuras, and they were brought together by the Lord in response to the devas' request to the Lord to do something, because they had been in a terrible condition. They had been basically thrown out of office. It's mentioned here that this was due to a curse by Durvasa Muni. We don't get a further explanation of that. And to my knowledge, I just read part of this in Mahabharata. There's no mention there, at least in the portion I read. Maybe it's mentioned later. In any case, the devas are in an unfortunate condition. What to do? So they approach the Lord, and the Lord says, well, the thing is, it's not really your time. And this is an interesting point for all of us, the time factor. We are sometimes frustrated by the conditions in which we find ourselves, and certainly one of the factors that brings about our condition is the time factor. And it seems that Lord Vishnu, although he is time, he seems to be saying in this case, there's nothing I can do to change this. Time seems to have a kind of independence. But as we know, the Lord has an idea, he has a suggestion, and the suggestion is rather novel for the devas, because the devas are accustomed, whenever there is conflict with the asuras, to fight the asuras. Now, the Lord is suggesting, instead of fighting with the asuras, why don't you cooperate with the asuras? And together in cooperation, you can do something very nice. You can produce amrita, you can make nectar, and this nectar will be something which is interesting, it's of value for both of you. And so they agree. Now, I want to suggest, in general, we understand how do we read the Bhagavatam following Srila Prabhupada. We are urged to read the narrations in a literal way. Srila Prabhupada would say, this is itihasa. Itihasa means history. History means it happened. It happened sometime long ago, but it did happen. Sometimes, however, it may be appropriate not to ignore the literal meaning, but to consider a possible allegorical meaning. And this is what I want to suggest that we might do with the story of the churning of the ocean. And what my reflection is, as an allegorical understanding, is that we turn the story as an internal situation. Now, I want to emphasize here, what I'm suggesting is not the same thing as Mahatma Gandhi was saying about the Bhagavad Gita, which Prabhupada criticized very much. Gandhi would say that the Battle of Kurukshetra is only allegorical. There was no such actual war or battle, but it is just allegorical, and we can take it that it is the battle which goes on within us. So there's something to that. The problem with what Gandhi was saying for Srila Prabhupada was to reject the literal reading. And by rejecting the literal reading of the Bhagavad Gita, other problems came. So especially Krishna's urging Arjuna to fight, to allegorize that completely, sort of removes the possibility of there being, in fact, dharmic war, a religious war. But that's kind of another story. But we find here in the story of the Devas and the Asuras cooperating, I think, an interesting possibility for thinking about what goes on within us. We may sometimes feel that what's happening within our own emotional life, within our thoughts, can be something of a back and forth, which may be not a cooperation so much as a competition. So the idea of reading this as a cooperation, at least up to a certain point, it was a cooperation. And then with arrangements of the Lord, as it worked out, as the Lord arranged, the devas end up being those who profit from the churning exercise. But the point of cooperation, I think, brings us to an interesting possibility that those who we perceive within ourselves, those notions, those emotions, those tendencies, whatever, which we fight against, and sometimes we may feel are prevailing over us, so that we feel helpless. The Lord is suggesting here a creative solution, if you like, and the creative solution for the devas and demigods is this very special kind of industrial activity. They're acting as a kind of cosmic machinery to produce the nectar. Well, that's a general thought, but then let's look at verse number 23 of chapter number 5. Ayam chatasya stitipalanakshana sattvang jushanasya bhavaya dehinam tasmat prajama sharanang jagat gurum svanam sanodasyati shamsura priya. This is being spoken by Lord Brahma. Lord Brahma says, now is the time to invoke the mode of goodness of the living entities who have accepted material bodies. The mode of goodness is meant to establish the Supreme Lord's rule, which will maintain the existence of the creation. Therefore, this is the opportune moment to take shelter of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, because he is naturally very kind and dear to the demigods. He will certainly bestow good fortune upon you. So a kind of key word here, I would say, is opportunity in Srila Prabhupada's translation. The Lord is giving an opportunity, and the opportunity is what? To cultivate the mode of goodness. Of course, we may say the higher opportunity of the Lord is to cultivate Shuddha Sattva, but here it's specifically mentioning Sattva. Sattvam Jushanasya Bhavai Hadehinam Stiti Palana Kshana. This is the time for maintenance. Of course, this is a general concern of Lord Vishnu, and when he's coming to this world in his so many different forms, that's his main purpose, to sustain, to maintain, as opposed to Lord Brahma's creation, Lord Shiva's destruction. We just saw, we heard Parvati's very great concern that Lord Shiva may be destroying the universe prematurely by his ecstatic dancing. It's all very nice that you dance, Lord Shiva, but don't get too ecstatic, because when you get too ecstatic, you tend to destroy things. But Lord Vishnu is all about maintenance, and that's going to be his task in his several forms that he takes in this pastime. He becomes Kurma in order to support. He becomes also the Lord who holds, because the pillar has to be kept steady at the top as well. So the Lord performs this activity as well. And he eventually appears in such a way as to bewilder the asuras, and he also manifests in the potency of the devas, the asuras, and himself manifesting sattva guna. Whoops, I need to go back to verse number 16. Let's see. This had to do with Lord Indra's pride. So this is, I'll just summarize. Shukadeva is saying the asuras are attacking the demigods with their serpent weapons, who are then losing their lives. And at this time, because the devas had been cursed by Durvasa Muni, the three worlds were poverty-stricken. And what that means is the various ritualistic performances which should be done were not being done. Okay, now we get the explanation in the purport of how this all happened with Durvasa. Okay, yes, Durvasa offers Indra a garland. So he's offering respect to Indra. But what does Indra do? Indra makes one of his famous mistakes. based on his pride. In this case, he's too proud to take a garland from Durvasa. So what does he do? He puts the garland around his elephant. The name of Indra's elephant is
Airavata.
Airavata. Now this is possibly cause for questioning because later it's going to turn out Airavata will manifest through the churning. So it seems he's already there and he's going to appear again in any case. And what does the elephant do? Perhaps this is another elephant. It's not mentioned here that it's Airavata. He throws the garland on the ground and he smashes it with his legs. Durvasa takes this as an insult, and that's where the cursing comes in. At this point, we could, of course, ask, is there another way that Durvasa could have responded? And we could probably think of many ways that he might have responded, one of which is he could have simply smiled and moved on. He could have just ignored the whole thing. He could have gotten another garland. Perhaps he had many garlands. He could have taken another one and say, my dear Indra, I really wanted to honor you with a garland. Please accept this garland. Or he could have just shrugged his shoulders and said, well, maybe it's a bad day for Lord Indra. But no, what does he do? He curses him, and the curse is such that the whole universe gets involved. And this makes for an opportunity, so going from some misfortune into into an opportunity. Where am I here? Where's my marker? Becomes an opportunity for Indra and everyone else. Okay, I don't find the marker. We can go then to verse number, I believe it was 33. Now let's talk about verse number 31. Ime vayam yat priyayai vatanva. Whoops, it's already 3 o'clock. Sattvam srishta, we'll end with this. Bahir antaravi gatingna sukshmam rishayas chavidme kuto asuradya itara pradanaha. Since our bodies, this is the Deva speaking, since our bodies are made of sattva guna, we, the demigods, are internally and externally situated in goodness. All the great saints are also situated in that way. Therefore, if even we cannot understand the Supreme Personality of Godhead, what is to be said of those who are most insignificant in their bodily constitutions, being situated in the mode of passion and ignorance? How can they understand the Lord? Let us offer our respectful obeisances unto him. So this is one of a few prayers the Devas are offering to the Lord prior to beginning this churning process. And all that I wanted to point out is that this is another case of, there are so many cases in Shastra of what's called kaimutya nyaya. Kaimutya nyaya is basically the logic that if such and such is the case, then how much more such and such is also the case. The particular example here is that the demigods are saying, we can't understand the Lord, and we're quite qualified. We are completely fixed in sattva guna. Sometimes one may wonder if that's really true. But they're saying in the mode of goodness, not only externally, but internally. So all in all, our whole bodies are sattva guna. And yet we don't understand the Lord. What to speak of those who are having, who are insignificant in their bodily constitutions, being situated in the mode of passion, passion and ignorance. So this could be taken in a discouraging way. Who are we to understand, to be able to understand the Lord? But we can also take it in a positive way, that it gives us humility, and it's humility that is going to be that which inspires the Lord to reveal himself to us. So if we read it in that way, oh, who am I to understand the Lord? Even the demigods can't. Possibly by a process of churning in service to the Lord, churning our efforts to hear from the Lord and understand the Lord, to realize the Lord may reveal himself, and then all will be well. Okay, I will stop there and wish you all a wonderful rest of the week. And keep well and keep busy in Krishna's service. As Srila Prabhupada would so much say, chant and be happy. Hare Nama, Hare Nama, Hare Nama-eva Kevalam. Kalo nastyeva, nastyeva, nastyeva gatiranyata. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Gaur Premanande. Haribol.